Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। Everyone, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namini Namaste Saraswate Devye Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Ashadharishitari. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for participating in this invocation prayers. So the first few lines of the invocation, I will briefly discuss the translation. Otherwise, it will remain very mechanical. Without knowing the meaning, our actual participation will not be there. It is there. It is there in that page. So the prayers begin. Spiritual teachers, our spiritual person, mercifully, they guide us and they bestow us this spiritual knowledge. So it says, Om Ajnana Timirandhasya. So we are all born, when a child is born, he is born out of the womb of the mother. And for at least 9 months, what he experiences complete darkness. He is very much suffocated. So it says, I was born in the darkest of ignorance. And even if after he takes birth and in his youth or even in his middle age, he still does not know who he is. We keep identifying ourselves with our body and mind, but constantly the body and mind is changing. Even science admits that after 7 years, the physical body undergoes complete transformation. All the cells are changed. The body has already changed. So the spiritual teacher, Jnananjana Shalakya, he opens our eyes of knowledge, our eyes of insight. He makes us begin the journey inside to know who we are. So in Bhagavad Gita, the knowledge that Krishna is giving, so Arjuna's vision is changing. Now Bhagavad Gita is the book that elevates us, that uplifts us to the highest possible vision. What are the levels of vision that we have? First level of vision is the physical vision. Physical vision means what we see from our eyes, from our sight. And we take a lot of pride. And when we believe and we trust our eyes, what we say, seeing is believing. But do we see our mind? That means it does not exist. Do we see our intelligence? So is there a void there? So what to speak of our spiritual soul? Then higher than the physical vision is the mental vision. one's mindset. So here we take decisions more based on our emotions and sentiments. So Arjun goes through that evolution. What he saw? He saw that on the opposite side, those who are fighting with him, they are his own kinsmen, Swajana. And he said that I don't want to fight. I don't want to kill. Yeah? Because they are mine. And then when he sees the mental part, mental vision, so he's overwhelmed. His emotions go outburst, and his eyes are filled with tears. Imagine a terrorist or someone who is a warrior for whom chivalry is normal, going through such emotion and ruptures like Arjuna. Why? Because his mindset changed. His emotions changed. And then he says that I will not fight. Na yod siddhi govinda, ukta tushme bahuva. I will not fight. So we see that in our life also. We take decision. What is the criteria of our decision? Mainly on the physical plane. Or if we are elevated a little, then we are more guided by our emotions, our sentiments. That is on the mental plane. But if we remain on these two planes, normally in normal sphere of life, one is only on these two planes. So what we experience? We experience constant disturbance, anxieties, and there are frustrations. Yeah. When I was doing a little bit of search in Google, one of the clip came up that what is happening between India and US these days, contemporary, most contemporary. There is so much of imposition. The US president is trying to impose himself, not just impose, but he's trying to intimidate everyone across the world. And he's using his market mechanism to do that. So one of the news items said that the negotiators of Trump are frustrated with Indians. Why? Because what their mindset was, Indians are not becoming compatible to that. They are not acceding. What they are desiring, demanding, or imposing, Indians are not acceding. They are not intimidated. So then, you see what is happening. All kind of statements which has no value or worth. It's coming from whom? From someone who is having the highest ranking position in the world. And every day, these statements are completely fluctuating. Yeah. It has no basis, no value. So this is the scenario. But if we really want to have stability in our life, then we have to come to the further elevation of being philosophical. So the first two levels are basically physical and mental. When we want to be philosophical, to be able to see the scenario, like you see our president, our prime minister Modi, there are no comments. There is philosophical. Quite. So we have to come to the level of scriptures. The philosophy comes from our Vedic text scriptures. And Bhagavad Gita gives us the highest philosophy. It takes us further, not only leads us to the philosophical level, it elevates us to the spiritual level, where we take decision based on being soul. So then we can really be blissful. Even if the most adverse of situations are there, until the time we live in this world, there will be difficult times, there will be troubled times. There will be situations which will not be favorable. But we will have the serenity and we will have the capacity to be able to face them. That is what our generation is very much lacking. How to face failures. In success, they are overwhelmed, and in failures, they completely collapse. So that balance, that scriptures like Modi. So in the 9th chapter, Krishna is giving the Rajavidya, the king of all knowledge. We have been discussing about it for last almost 5. This is the 5th session on this chapter. And we covered the first 10 verses. Those of you who have come for the first time, I'll have a short recap. Then the first, visible on the screen. The first 3 verses, Krishna glorifies this knowledge and he introduces this knowledge as Rajavidya and Rajguhya. This is most confidential and it is the king of all knowledge. Why it is the king of all knowledge? Because it gives realization. Not only information, but also it gives the realization of what to know who he is. And then Krishna says some qualities are required, some qualifying has to be non-enemies, which is a very big quality which is required to be non-enemies. In this world today, envy is inevitable. And further, Krishna says the other element which is required is faith. Without these two, one cannot attain this knowledge. And then what is that Rajavidya? Krishna reveals from 4 to 10 his relationship with this material world, which is inconceivable. How he creates, how he maintains, and how he sustains. And finally, he also annihilates. And the manifestation and the dissolution is most likelihood. So the material world is also eternal. Eternal in a sense that the cyclical manifestation and annihilation is continuous. It never stops. So now we will study the third section. Here, different type of worshippers or different type of people, how they approach the Supreme Lord. The big section, many various classes of men are discussed. So we will take the 11th verse, 9th chapter and the 11th verse. Okay. Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanumashritam param bhavam vajananto Ishwaram Manushim tanumashritam param bhavam vajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Your turn. Like to recite. You recite. Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanumashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Yes. One or two more. After from the ladies' side, there should be the participation from the men's side.
अवजानन्ति मामूढा
Avajananti mamudha
मानुषीतनुमाश्रितम्
Manushim tanu mashritam
परं भावम् जानन्तो
Param bhavam ajananto
मम भूतमहेश्वरम्
Mamabhuta Maheshwaram. Men's side. Any of you? Yeah, please. Thank you.
Avajananti mamura
Avajananti mamudha
manushitam numashritam
Manushim tanu mashritam
param bhavam ajananto
Param bhavam ajananto
mama bhuta maheshwaram.
Mamabhuta Maheshwaram. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So see, so far in this Rajavidya, Krishna was explaining his relationship with the material manifestation. That how he is the source, how he is the foundation. When Krishna said that everything rests on me. But now he is speaking about the Jiva, the living in. So the first declaration that Krishna is saying that Avajananti Mama Mudha. Mudha is the word which is for those who are not very intelligent. Instead of Mudha, Mudha means is grossly foolish. So those who are not so intelligent, that means those who are not situated in this spiritual knowledge. So what they do, they avajananti. There are three words. Jananti means to know. And you see in the second line, ajananto. Ajananto means those who do not know. Okay. Jananti means to know. And ajananto means who do not know. But avajananti means those who do not know, but they deride. Deride, means to insult or to minimize. So those is talking about those class of men that who do not know Krishna. Most of us do not know Krishna because Krishna has already emphatically declared in the fourth chapter that Jan Karam Chame Dev Evam Yo Veti Tattva Tattva Deham Punarjanma Neti Mameti Suransiddhatu. But even if you do not know what we should not do, we should not deride. So he says, those who deride me, such people are mudha. Why? Because what they think or what they conclude, manushim tanu ashrita, because I appear in human like form. So what they think, that the Supreme is also just like them. He is also a human being. It is not true. I gave the example last time. That those who are in the prison house, those who have been given some sentence, some punishment, they are in the prison house. But also in the prison house is the superintendent of the prison. Are they alike? Can the prisoner say that what rule applies to me should apply to the superintendent of prison also? No. No. So many times, people out of ignorance and more so out of pride, what they do, they deride. So Krishna is speaking here that, you see the translation now, that fools deride me when I descend in the human form. And what they do, they oppose, they criticize, or even they try to harm. They do not know my transcendental nature. Why? Because param bhavam ajanantu. As I said, ajananto means those who are not in knowledge, those who are in ignorance. What is the point of ignorance? Param bhavam. Param means higher, and bhava means the nature. So the nature of the Supreme Lord is not like our nature. Right now, our nature is what? We are made of matter. Our body is made of matter. And we are a combination of matter and spirit. But still we identify ourselves as matter. But the Supreme Lord is pure spirit. There is no contamination of matter. So this they do not know. And second, where is the ignorance? Mama Bhuta Maheshwaram. That Mama means Krishna is saying that I, Bhuta means of every living entity, and Maheshwara. Sometimes we say Maheshwara. So we consider Maheshwara to be Lord Shiva. But it's not Maheshwara, it is Maha Ishwara. Ishwara means one who is the proprietor, or one who is the owner or controller. So he is the Maheshwara. He is not only the proprietor and controller of the living entities, but also of the demigods. This they do not. So Krishna says that fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord of all that be. So, due to so-called success or due to so-called post or position, we have seen in history, still more so, that many people classify in this category to what Krishna is speaking. That they think that they are superhuman. Or alternatively, they think that the Lord is human and he has no special powers or position. I'll give you one famous contemplation. You know this ship called Titanic, a movie was made, very famous. When the Titanic was being built and when it was to start for its first voyage, what the captain declared is very surprising. He derided and joked and jerked. He said that this ship, even if the God himself wants to sink, will not sink. अगर भगवान भी चाहे तो इस जहाज को वो डुबा नहीं पाए. And in the history, it is said it was one of the most expensive ships. Now, what happened? In its first voyage, it sank. So these are people, those who think that they have taken the position of God. They say that God does not exist, or God is dead, or even they go to the extent of declaring themselves as God. So we should not be very much, giving importance to such persons. Because Krishna here condemns such persons. And you will find such persons in all walks of life, everywhere. Who deride. Why do they deride? The reason for that is they have envy in their heart. They have envy. Another very famous personality, so-called legend. Not Bollywood, sorry, Hollywood. Hollywood actress. Marilyn Monroe. She is known as, an iconic personality. But once she was approached by one of the church worshippers. And when she was being approached by him, she said that I do not need your Jesus. For me in my life, there is no space for the Supreme Lord. in her life, although she was having this so-called of madness because of her popularity, she thought like this. And what happened? Just within few years, she was so frustrated that she killed herself at the age of 26. So there are so many examples. The history is filled, not history, I mean, even today's world. And one famous South Indian chief minister, he questioned that even if Lord Ram were ever existed. So such people will always be there. But they have no credentials. So Krishna is saying here, so let's see the purport. From the other explanations of the previous verses in this chapter, it is clear that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although appearing like a human being, is not a common man. The personality of Godhead who conducts the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the complete cosmic manifestation cannot be a human being. Yet there are many foolish men who consider Krishna to be merely a powerful man and nothing more. Actually, he is the original Supreme Personality as confirmed in Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Paramaha Krishna. He is the Supreme Power. There are many Ishvaras, controllers, and one appears greater than the other. In the ordinary management of affairs in the material world, we find some official or director. Like you have a director here in IARL. But is he the Supreme? Whom does he report to? The ICAR director. Huh? Right? I don't know what is the structure, but he is accountable. He has to report. Then, whoever is his boss is also still not the Supreme Boss. He is answerable and questioned by his boss. That would be the Agriculture Secretary, not directly the Minister. The Agriculture Secretary. And then the hierarchy keeps going. And even the Prime Minister, he can be changed by the common people. What kind of power is there? For Trump, now many people are saying that he will be short-lived. His term will be over. People are so much facing the tribulation that they started to think that when his term will end. So this is it. Yeah, Prabhupada is saying that there are, in ordinary management, there are many officials or directors, and above them there is a secretary, and above him is a minister, precisely. And above him is the president. Each of them is a controller, but one is controlled by another. In the Brahma Samhita is given by Brahma. So that is his realization. He said that Krishna is the supreme controller. Ishvara Parama Krishna. And there are many controllers undoubtedly both in the material and spiritual world, but Krishna is the supreme controller and his body is Sachidananda, non-material. So the point is to be understood that the Supreme Lord is the Supreme Spirit or matter. As I said, in our case, we are a combination of matter and spirit. In this material world, everything is a combination of matter and spirit. And what is the nature of matter? It is always changing. Matter is constantly changing. Material bodies cannot perform the wonderful acts described in previous verses. What are the wonderful acts? What are the wonderful acts? Creation, maintenance, and annihilation. Can anyone perform? Can any president perform creation or annihilation? He cannot even perform maintenance. His body is eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. although he is not a common man, the foolish deride him and consider him to be a man. His body is called here Manushin because he is acting just like a man. A friend of Arjuna, a politician involved in the battle of Kurukshetra. In so many ways, he is acting just like an ordinary man, but actually his body is Sachidananda Vigraha, eternal, blissful, and knowledge absolute. So Prabhupada gives so many references from Vedic scriptures. So I'll go a little forward. Despite the transcendental qualities of Lord Krishna's body, its full bliss and knowledge, there are many so-called scholars and commentators of Bhagavad Gita who deride Krishna as ordinary man. This is also very shocking and surprising. There are about 5,000 commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. Even it will be even more. In 5,000 years, there are at least 5,000 commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. And most of the commentaries, the commentators, they fail on these two aspects. What are the two aspects? Param Bhava Maja. And they also do not know that how is Maheshwara, Sarvabhut or Maheshwara. So Prabhupada is mentioning here that the scholars may be born in an extraordinarily man due to his previous good work. But this conception of Sri Krishna is due to a poor fund of knowledge. Therefore, he is called Mudha. For only foolish person consider Krishna to be an ordinary human being. So in a way, it is clear that those who consider Krishna to be ordinary, they will all classify in the category of being Mudha. Mudha, and then what is the possibility? That they will be Avajananti. They will deride Krishna. The foolish consider Krishna an ordinary human being because they do not know the confidential activities of the Supreme Lord and his different energies. The Bhagavad Gita, we see so much of emphasis Krishna gives on his various energies. In the 7th chapter, we discuss Krishna's various energies. In the 9th chapter, we discussed from verses 4 to 10 that how his energies and expansions, they are at work. He himself does not have to intervene. Only by his will, everything happens. They do not know that Krishna's body is a symbol of complete knowledge and bliss, that he is the proprietor of everything that be, and that he can award liberation to anyone. So these are people, those who are in ignorance. They are not in knowledge. Because they do not know that Krishna has so many transcendental qualifications, they deride him. Many times people ask us, what kind of Lord you are worshipping? He is always romancing with gopis. What kind of Lord you are worshipping? He is going and stealing butter. But he does not know that what is the transcendental aspect of that activity. What is the vision? Vision is physical or mental. It is not even physical. Have they seen Krishna stealing butter or romancing with gopis? But it is their mindset. But if we come to the philosophical level, then we will know the reasons. The gopis who are fortunate to be born in Vrindavan, some of the gopis were the sages from Dandakaranya. When Lord Ram entered the forest of Dandakaranya, so all these sages, they wanted to serve Supreme Lord and be with him. But in that incarnation, Lord Ram had taken a vow. What was the vow? That he will only accept one wife. But the sages' desire was pure. So Lord Ram blessed them that in my future incarnation, I will come and fulfill all this. Not anyone and everyone can be born still in Vrajan. It requires heaps and heaps of pious credits and blessings to take birth in Rajmandal. So Krishna fulfilled their desire. And the gopis, where Krishna was going and stealing butter. Why? Because they desired that when will Krishna come in our house and steal our butter? There are many commentaries of our acharyas. So they explain that Krishna would go only in those houses to steal butter, where the gopi loved Krishna more than herself. To fulfill her desire, to satisfy them, Krishna did this activity. Do we know that? No. And what we do? We delight Krishna. So Krishna is, in a way, cautioning us that at least we should not do and we should not support such people. So Krishna says there, nor do they know that the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in this material world is a manifestation of His internal energy. He is the master of material energy. So I'll explain there are three types of energy. One is called the internal energy or the Swarupa Shakti. And the other is called the external energy or it is called the Bahiranga Shakti. How to understand it? Very simple. Like we have the government. The government has a police department. What is the police department meant for? To maintain law and order. So those who are criminals, the government to the police department, they punish the criminals and put them in prison. And the government also maintains the education department. And those who want to gain knowledge and be the law-abiding citizen, what the government does, government gives scholarships. So is the government partial? Is the government biased? For some, it is creating so much of punishment. And for the other, it is rewarding. No, his own choice. So there are two types of government imposing agencies. One is like the education department or the health department, which is promoting the welfare. And the other is the police department, which is punishing the criminals. So there are two energies. One is the internal energy. We will speak about internal energy after 2 verses. And the other is the external energy. So and we, that living entities, are in between. We are called the marginal energy. Tatastha. So these are the three broad categories of Krishna's energy. Internal, external, and the Jiva, which is the neutral. Or Tatastha. So we always have the choice. Like a citizen has the choice. He can choose to be either in the education institute or he can choose to be in the prison house. Does the government interfere in that? Is the government responsible for who is in prison or who is in university? No. It's one's own personal choice. So as we will proceed, it will become more evident and clear. So here it is being said that he is the master of material energy, as has been explained in several places. Previously, we read in the 9th verse, Krishna says, Maya Dakshena Prakati Suyate Se Charajalo. That under my jurisdiction, under my superintendence, this material energy is working. That means it is under control. He claims that the material energy, although very powerful, is under his control. And whoever surrenders unto him can get out of the control of this material energy. This material energy is also called Durga. Durga means which is very difficult. To overcome the influence of this material energy for an ordinary person is almost impossible. But how one can get out of it? If a soul surrenders to Krishna, can get out of the influence of material energy. Then how can the Supreme Lord, who conducts the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the whole cosmic nature, have a material body like us? So this conception of Krishna is complete foolishness. Foolish persons, however, cannot conceive that the personality of Godhead Krishna, appearing just like an ordinary man, can be the controller of all the atoms and all the gigantic manifestations of the universal form. The biggest and the minutest are beyond their conceptions. So they cannot imagine that a form like that of a human being can simultaneously control the infinite and the mind. What to speak of humans, even the demigods are bewildered. Indra was bewildered. He thought that why Krishna is stopping by sacrifice in the puja. So what he wanted to do? He wanted to inundate the Brajavasis. And so we have the worship of Govardhan Puja. Krishna lifted Govardhan and saved everyone. So they cannot imagine that a form like is that of a human being can, okay. Actually, although he is controlling the infinite and the finite, he is apart from all this manifestation. This we have read in the previous verses. It is clearly stated concerning his Yogam Aishwarya, his inconceivable transcendental energy, that he can control the infinite and the finite simultaneously, and that he can remain aloof from them. Although the foolish cannot imagine how Krishna, who appears just like a human being, can control the finite and the infinite, those who are pure devotees accept this, for they know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, they completely surrender unto him and engage in Krishna consciousness, devotional service of the Lord. I'll go a little fast forward, the big purpose, the really big purpose. So Prabhupada is emphasizing that those who lack knowledge, they take to this kind of approach. Then the next to next para says, some of those who deride Krishna and who are infected with the Mayavadi philosophies quote the following verses from Srimad Bhagavatam. So these are, the same explanation for Okay, I'll go a little further. There are three kinds of devotees of the Lord, and the neophyte is the lowest stage. The neophyte devotee gives more attention to the deity in the temple than to other devotees. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wants that this sort of mentality should be corrected. A devotee should see that because Krishna is present in everyone's heart as Paramatma, everybody is the embodiment of the temple of the Supreme Lord. This is how one can become non-envious. Unless and until this vision is there is no possibility of being non-envious. How envy can be converted into love? When we see everyone as the embodiment of the temple, then there will not be envy. But it cannot be done artificially. It cannot be practiced artificially. It is based on one's evolution. Everybody is the embodiment or the temple of the Supreme Lord. So as one offers respect to the temple of the Lord, he should similarly properly respect each and everybody in which the Paramatma dwells. Everyone should therefore be given proper respect and should not be neglected. This is general principle for every one of us. We should not deride anyone. There are so many impersonalists who deride temple worship. They say that God is everywhere. Why should one restrict himself to temple worship? But if God is everywhere, is he not in the temple or in the deity? Prabhupada is raising this question. Although the personalist and the personalist will fight with one another perpetually, a perfect devotee in Krishna consciousness knows that though Krishna is the Supreme Personality, he is all pervading, as confirmed in Brahma Samhita. Although his personal abode is Golok Vrindavan, and he is always saying, he is always staying there, by his different manifestations of energy. And by his plenary expansion, he is present everywhere in all parts of the material and spiritual creation. So such people, the two category of people Krishna has spoken here, that Avajananta and those who are Ajananta. So what is the result, or what is the outcome of their actions and endeavor? That is spoken in the next verse. Krishna continues. Mogasha Moga Karmano Moga Jnana Vichetasa Rakshase Masurim Cheva Prakrite Mohini Shrita. Is that right? Those who did not recite so far. Oh, you want to volunteer? But you have to first hear. Last time we discussed, you have the book with you? You have the book, the Gita with you? Yeah, go ahead. No. Mogajnana Vichetasa Rakshasam. There is one word in between us. Rakshasam Vasurim Chaiva Prakriti Mohini Shrita. Very good. Excellent attempt. If you will hear attentively, it will become very easy. And when I am pronouncing, look at the word meaning. No, because we are not used to Sanskrit. Neither have I have not studied much Sanskrit. But by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, because he has given transliteration, it is through English that whatever little English we know, we are able to access Sanskrit. So if you see the word meaning, the phobia of Sanskrit will be less, and you'll be able to recite. So Krishna is using the word Mogashaha. Asha, everyone in this world. What is that song? दिल है छोटा सा छोटी सी आशा आसमानों में उड़ने की आशा. So there is no life if one has no desires or hopes. But such people, whatever their desires are, whatever their hopes are, they will all be baffled. What means they will only face frustrations. Mogasha. Then Moga Karmano. Karma means action. So whatever endeavors or whatever actions they perform, what will be the result? It will be counterproductive. Here, my dear, here. Last time we discussed. Intelligent person is who hears, and a foolish person is who speaks. How can a fool be detected? As soon as he speaks. If he remains silent, then one cannot make out. But as soon as he speaks, you can know what is he doing. He reveals himself. Okay? Yeah. There is this urge, vachove. In all of us, there is this urge to speak. Why? Because you want to tell others that I know better than you. Difficult to curb that urge to speak. What is that saying? That if speech is silver, then silence is golden. Okay. So Moga Karma. So all their endeavors and actions, whatever will be the result, it will also be frustrating. It will be bad. And Moga Jnana, whatever knowledge whatever information that they are acquiring, it will also be frustrated. Why? Because they are vichetasaha. Chetsa means chetana, means consciousness. And vichetasa means who are looped. Why they are bewildered? Why their all their hopes and aspirations will face uh, frustration? The next line gives the answer that it is Rakshasim Ashurim Cheva. Rakshasim means demoniac and Asurim means atheistic. And what kind of nature they are having? Prakriti Mohini Ashritana. But they never leave it. I'm not using this right. Okay. I'm speaking directly from Pita. Small group we are having. Slide is required, where the group is very big and attention is less. Then it is said that the pictures looks more than the thousand words. But here what we have to pick up is what Krishna is speaking. More attention of the ear is required. So those who are, just see the translation. Okay, so I'm discussing the Prakriti Mohini Mahashrita. So as I said, that we all have a choice. Either we can take to Krishna's internal energy, or we can remain in Krishna's external. Like a citizen has a choice. Either he can be under the jurisdiction of the police, or he can be under the jurisdiction of the Ministry of Education only. It's his choice, whoever he chooses. So those who are thus bewildered, who are these people? Those who are not in knowledge and those who deride Krishna, are attracted by demoniac and atheistic views. What is the demonic and atheistic view? That they deride Krishna. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. Ultimately, everyone here meets what? The final end, which is death. At the stage of death, what happens? Everything becomes completely shifted to chaos. Nothing remains. Prabhupada says, less than devotional service. But at heart, they do not accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna as the absolute truth. Even if this is very important, that is why we are discussing Bhagavad Gita, so that we do not have this wrong conception or this misconception that the Jiva and the Ishvara are the same, or the Jiva can become Ishvara. So the fruit of devotional service going back to God will never increase. Similarly, those who are engaged in fruitive pious activities, entanglement, will never be successful either because they deride Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. In other words, person who mock Krishna are to be understood to be demoniac or atheistic, as described in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Such demonic miscreants never surrender to Krishna. What is the verse? Abhajananti mamudha namam dushkritino mudha. Namam dushkritino mudha. Prapadyante naradhama Maya Aprityana Asuni Bhavamasha. Krishna has already declared that fourth kind of people will not approach me. They cannot take my shelter. Who are these four kind of people? First is grossly foolish. Mudha. The same word Krishna is using there. Namam Dushkritino Mudha. What is the foolish person thinking? He is thinking that if I work hard, I can enjoy harder. That is today's philosophy. Work hard and enjoy harder. But they will not approach the Supreme. We are getting knowledge of Bhagavad Gita in your IARI. We are not charging also. And we provide free prasadas. But how many are coming to accept? How many? It's not even a fraction of a percent. As if they feel that their knowledge is more valuable than this knowledge. Yeah. So here it is said that similarly those who are engaged in fruitive pious activities and they are hoping for liberation from this material. So pious activities, people why they perform punya? So that they can go to Swarga. Why they want to go to Swarga? So that they can enjoy better. You've seen or not? Anyone who passes away in the family, there is this card now for their rites, rituals. And what is written? One who is deceased, Swargiya. That is the aspiration of everyone. Whether we don't know what is the destination. Whether it is Swargiya or Narkiya. But everyone will write Swargiya. Because the aspiration is that. Because they will all be perfect. But then people do charity. Why do they do charity? So that I can secure a place so that I can enjoy food. They think that the Supreme Lord is so foolish. In other words, persons who mock Krishna are to be understood to be demonic or atheist as described. Okay. Therefore, their mental speculation to erect the supreme absolute truth bring them to the false conclusion that the ordinary living entity and Krishna are one and the same. This is another theory, which has gained a lot of acceptance in many parts of Indian practitioners. Naro Narayan Bhavit. That the Jiva and the Supreme Lord are the one and the same. It can never be possible. It is like saying the sun and the sun rays are the same. Can the sun and the sun rays be the same? No. Never. Why they are saying so? Because they do not know the power and the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One devotee was sharing, you see, when you go to the villages, in the villages, there is this policeman, constable, who comes. And what the villagers call him? They don't call him constable. What they call him? No? Kaptan Sahab. Just because he is being addressed as Kaptan Sahab, has he becoming the constable, has become the superintendent of police? No. Ignorance. So humans can never be. Why? Because you do not know who the Supreme Lord is. So that is why the point is the aspiration to become Supreme. Again, what it conveys envy in the no. So with such a false conviction, they think that the body of any human being is now simply covered by material nature. And as soon as that one is liberated from this material body, there is no difference between God and himself. This attempt to become one with Krishna will be baffled because of delusion. Such atheistic and demonic cultivation of spiritual knowledge is always futile. That is the indication of this verse. For such persons, cultivation of the knowledge in the Vedic literature like the Vedanta Sutra and the Upanishad is always baffled. I'm saying the last paragraph. One who considers the body of Krishna to be material should be driven out from all rituals and activities of the Shruti and Smriti. And if one by chance sees his face, one should at once take bath in the Ganges and rid himself of infection. People jeer at Krishna because they are envious. This is the point of the Supreme Personality of God. Their destiny is certainly to take birth after birth in the species of atheistic and demonic life. Perpetually their real knowledge will remain under delusion, and gradually they will regress to the darkest region of creation. So we discussed this part that those who are in ignorance and those who are out of envy, do not accept the authority of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what is their destination? What is their uh, result, what they face? It is Mogasha, Moga Karmana, and Moga Jnana. But on the other side, those who accept the authority of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that we will discuss in the next session. That is, those who are under his internal lineage. Okay, so I stop here. It is 4 minutes to 9. Is there any question or any participation, discussion? You're welcome. You may ask question, you may inquire, you may probe, or even you may challenge. Everything is welcome. Right. In this section, what we learned that out of ignorance or out of envy, we should not deride anyone. And what to speak of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So there will be repercussions. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mama. Give the mic, please. Pass the mic.
रावण रावण बहुत बड़ा भक्त था, पूजा भी करता था, सारे वेद उपनिषद का ज्ञान भी था, तो भी उसके वो ऐसे क्यों था?
Because he was Rakshasam Asurim Cheva, Mohining Prakriti Bhashi. This Krishna already explained. This is what we discussed. Because he was thinking, actually what he was thinking, he wanted to be the supreme position. That was his desire. His desire was not to serve the Lord, not to serve the Lord, but to become God. Okay. So that is there. That is there. That is what we have to transform. That is the vision that we have, the mindset or the mentality that we have. Our mindset is the more I have, the more I can enjoy. In 19, one of our Srila Prabhupada's disciples, His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj, when Prabhupada started preaching in India, he called him from America and he was the president of Mumbai. So we built up a big temple there in Juhu. So Maharaj happened to meet, be patient. Maharaj met the Birla family. And very pious, they have temples all over, very, very pious family. Very good spiritual credentials also. So Mrs. Birla wanted to have Srila Prabhupada there in their house, in the Birla house. They invited Prabhupada. And of course, when a spiritual personality comes, so he gives a talk, a spiritual talk to inspire people and, make them receive this knowledge. So she was given a list of 20 topics. Prabhupada could speak on any topic. And Maharaj was saying that she selected the topic, how to be successful. Entire India is trying to become Birla. One of the members of the Birla and kind of. But now the Ambani and the Adani. And if you ask them, what is in their heart? They are not satisfied. They want more. How to be successful? That means success they have not received. They have not received success. Hare Krishna. Yes, our youngest listener, audience. Wait for the mic to reach you. Yes.
That's why there is no difference between Lord and us.
There is a difference. This is what I mean. There's a huge difference.
Sir, what is the difference?
Wait, yeah. Okay. Is there any difference between you and your father? Huh? What is the difference?
Age.
8. Okay. And what else?
2.
2.
2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. 2. Intelligence.
Oh, thank you. So, 1 minute before you clap. Whom you consider is more intelligent? Because we need to know. Whom you consider is more intelligent? Be honest.
God.
See how smartly he skipped. Okay, you got the answer? You have already answered. You said God. I didn't force upon you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hare Krishna. Satisfied?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we will proceed for Prasadam. Thank you all for coming. Before you leave, we have an announcement. Next Sunday, that is on 10th, we will be celebrating Janmashtami in your campus. In here in the faculty club from 5 p.m. It will be a gathering and it will be a celebration. Please come. This will be a very different type of. You must have attended so many birthday parties, but this will be a complete different experience of celebrating the birthday of the Supreme Personality. You are all invited. You will come. Okay. Okay. So we will celebrate that as well. Our best wishes to you. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for coming and please proceed for Prashant. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Is there any question from the online viewers? If there is any, please ask. Presentation मत करना. Presentation. Online devotees come. Let us have only the online viewers. Okay. Yes, Hare Krishna. Is there any question from your side? Any query, inquiry? पूछिए. I'm there. Whatever I know, I will share. Hare Krishna. My voice is reaching you or not? Ravinder?
Yes, Prabhuji, reaching. Hare Krishna.
Today we see Swapnaja is there. Hare Krishna, how are you? You are not there in so many sessions. I hope you are well. Swapnaja? Audio active quality is not good. Hare Krishna. Okay. So we will not be having the session on next Saturday. We will have the session on Sunday. Thank you all very much. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the assembly.